Today I'm talking to Alenka Smerkolj, the new Secretary General of the Alpine Convention. Hello, Mrs. Smerkolj, and thank you for taking the time for this interview.
It is my pleasure.
You took over work from Markus Reiterer just a few days ago. What were the first and most important appointments and to-dos in your new position as Secretary General?
Well, already the second day, the decision was taken to really try and get first to know the local environment. So we asked for the meetings in Innsbruck with the mayor and governors, and of course also on the other side in Italy, in Bolzano, where we have the other seat, with the mayor and the governor of the province. So basically, these were the first few days. I already met the mayor of Bolzano, and I'm meeting the other mayor here in Innsbruck in the beginning of August. And of course, for me, it is crucial that I get to know also personally all the 8 countries. So this is what we try to establish now. So all the meetings end of July and August are a little bit difficult, but we are managing well. So we will have Switzerland and Italy already confirmed in August, but the rest apparently in September, but we are working on it. But then after the countries, all the observers, all the other organizations we work with, I think this is crucial. I would like to meet in person all stakeholders we work with. So it's a long list, but an important one.
Yes, I'm sure it's a long list and many to-dos, but I guess you're used to it. You have worked for many years in international financial management, as far as I'm informed, and later also for the Slovenian government as Minister for Strategic Projects and Cohesion. You just started now working for the Alpine Convention, and how do you personally relate to the topics of the Alpine Convention, such as nature conservation and, for example, sustainability?
Well, about 5 years ago, I made the decision to leave my international banking career and to start serving my country, Slovenia. So I decided to leave business negotiations and finance-based decisions for a job as development minister as well for Slovenia. And all this required from me an entirely new dimensions of mindset. And I had somehow to combine technical skills with empathy. And I had to start making decisions based on care for everyone in society, which is a very different thing from banking. And of course, all the efforts as a development minister of a country are in a way that they should produce well-being and sustainable development for the country. So I led Slovenia's efforts in developing national long-term vision and development strategy, which also supports the implementation of the Agenda 2030 for sustainable development. And through all these processes, which involved all stakeholders, I really became a true believer and also a very passionate advocate for sustainable development. And this is how I relate to the topic. And after my mandate as a Minister for Development and Cohesion was over, I decided to try to really continue my career responding to the challenges of sustainable development on the international level. And that's the reason why I'm very happy that I succeeded and have been nominated as the General Secretary of the Alpine Convention, because this is something I really wished for, and I really believe that with this job, I think my life will become even more meaningful, because it's something I truly believe in. And when you act with passion, I think that you can make a lot of things happen.
Even today, women are still underrepresented in powerful positions. As far as I'm informed, you are the first woman to be Secretary General. How important is this fact for you in terms of serving as a role model for other women?
It is extremely important, and I have to say that I'm very proud I succeeded. I was in the final selection the only woman. So it was apparently pretty difficult for everybody else to come to that part. So to select me, a woman, for this role, well, I am proud and I will do my best to really also be the role model for others, because I definitely believe that women need to try and be more powerful. We are a little bit at the back because also we don't want to expose ourselves. And I think we should do more of it and really come to sort of a balance also in powerful positions. I think balance is the most important thing in life.
Your new office is in the Austrian city of Innsbruck. You already mentioned you will meet the mayor as well. You can also almost see the highway to Italy from there, one of the most important transit routes through the Alps. And now driving bans, truck tolls, because of air pollution and traffic jams caused by tourists, are big issues, at least in the media in Austria, Germany and Italy. Apart from the already existing transport protocol, what is done and what could be done here by the Alpine Convention? What do you think?
Of course, traffic is one of the most problematic issues for the whole already vulnerable ecosystem of the Alps. And of course, already till now, the Alpine Convention was trying to promote sustainable traffic as much as possible. I think that the whole world, especially also Europe or European Union, with the Commission's efforts, tries to make real changes. Of course, Alpine Convention, as you are aware, is a support to countries, but in my role, I will definitely try to be as active as possible in this part and try to do things. But overall, I believe that a lot of important decisions already have been taken, and I believe that in the next years, we will see a shift to a more sustainable traffic as well. This is my big wish. I was dealing with this issue also in Slovenia, which is a little bit less. Perhaps it's extremely important as well, but we don't have a Brenner in Slovenia with all the trucks, but we do have also there a lot of issues with air quality. And of course, transport is one of the major polluters also there. So I know the issue, I know the problem, I know what the protocol says. So now it's time to act even with more passion. Let's see what we can change.
Talking about problems such as too much traffic, there is also over-tourism, decline in biological diversity, contradictions between climate protection measures such as new water and wind power plants versus protection of natural landscapes. So these are only a few problems we face in the Alps. Which is the biggest problem right now in your point of view?
It's a difficult question, but I think I can provide an answer that I believe in and that I also encountered when I was trying to coordinate the umbrella document of the development strategy for Slovenia. What was basically the biggest question? The problem is that we still all live in the silo mentality, and we are all structures, our systems, our governments. Even the European Commission is structured in silo things, meaning we have energy separate from transport, we have environment separate from another thing. So the problem we are facing is that, of course, all these sectors in the challenges the world, not just the Alps, the world faces today, or our planet faces today, is that the challenges are all interconnected, they are all intertwined, but we live in a different mentality. So the main point here is to try and make decisions that basically, of course, then require a systems approach and a multidisciplinary thinking. And that's, it's a very, very difficult task, because I know how difficult it was for me to try and speak about, everybody sees a solution, but for their own issues and their own challenges, But as soon as you have to connect with other sectors, it becomes almost impossible because we are not used to this. So the change of mentality from the silo approach to really a system approach is needed. And the sooner we start, the better. So we'll try also within the framework of the Alpine Convention and the working groups to also combine some working groups together to find perhaps more appropriate solution, not just for each and every challenge, but for an overall thing. Of course, it's a long shot, but you need to start somewhere. I started it in Slovenia. It was not easy. Far from that, but I think this is the way to go, because only if you understand, let's say, climate change, it goes in all the sectors. And so we don't have, let's say, ministries basically for climate change that would go into the economy, into energy, into transport, and that they would have a more important role. These are really system changes. But I think this is really the biggest challenge that we, not in the Alps and not just the governments in the Alps and the countries in the Alps, but the countries all over the world face.
Coming maybe to the positive side, where do you see the biggest chances for the Alpine region regarding the topics of the Alpine Convention?
When I try to see what I need to do, I think that basically, first of all, I tried to find out when I was making the application for my job whether the convention has a vision. And the vision is there. It was really done in an appropriate way with all the stakeholders involved during the German presidency. And the vision is that the Alps should become a pioneer region for sustainable living at the heart of Europe. I think it's a great thing, and I fully resonate with what the vision says. So this will be also the goal, but also this vision requires the approaches I mentioned a little bit earlier. So the systems approach, I will be working, of course, on the multi-annual program and the roadmap for the next 2 years. This is already agreed. It has been agreed before I came, and we will try to develop, to go towards that vision slowly. And I think that a lot of things will help also in the surrounding. We have the Sustainable Development Goals that have been adopted by the United Nations in 2015 that help us and are becoming more and more important. So the picture of sustainable development as a whole is coming out, because I firmly believe there is no other way for the planet to go.
Thank you. And maybe to close the interview, one more personal question. I would like to know, which is your favorite place in the Alps? A place that you connect with maybe certain personal memories as well.
That's a difficult one, because I've been to all the countries, not all the places, but I've visited all the countries in my life. All the Alpine regions, they are all beautiful. But I still have to say that my favorite place, is the place where I was born. It's a small village in the Gorenjska region of Slovenia. The place is called Križe, and I have to say that, it's still my favorite place, because all my memories as a child and also afterwards a grown-up relate to that small place in Slovenia.